There are moments in history when power speaks so loudly that truth is expected to go silent. When laws are written not to protect justice, but to protect pride. And when standing for what is right becomes the most dangerous choice of all. This is the story of Daniel, a man who refused to bend, even when everything around him demanded it. Ancient Babylon was a kingdom of power and order, a place where laws were strict and authority was absolute. At the center of this kingdom stood King Darius, a ruler respected by many, but surrounded by pressure. Because in a kingdom like this, power is never simple. It is watched, it is tested, and it is often manipulated. But among all the voices in the palace, one man stood apart. His name was Daniel. Daniel was not just intelligent, he was consistent, honest, and deeply trusted. He carried out his responsibilities with excellence. No corruption, no shortcuts, no hidden agenda. Because of this, Daniel rose higher and higher in the kingdom. But success has a way of creating attention. And attention can quickly turn into jealousy. Other officials in the kingdom began to notice something uncomfortable. No matter how closely they examined Daniel's life, they could find no fault, no mistake, no corruption, no weakness in his work. So they realized something else. If they could not destroy his reputation, they would attack his faith. They went to King Darius with a carefully crafted plan. A law, a decree that would sound harmless on the surface, but dangerous in purpose.
For 30 days, no one in the kingdom would be allowed to pray to any god or person, except the king. The law was presented as honor, but it was really about control. And King Darius, trusting the voices around him, signed it. Once a royal law was signed in Babylon, it could not be changed, not even by the king himself. When Daniel heard about the decree, nothing about his behavior changed. He did not panic. He did not hide. He did not argue. He simply returned to his room, opened his windows, and knelt in prayer, just as he always had, 3 times a day, without fear, without hesitation. Because for Daniel, prayer was not a reaction to crisis. It was a way of life. But the world around him was watching. And soon, the officials caught him. They rushed to report what they had seen. Daniel had broken the law, the very law designed to try.
When King Darius heard this, something inside him broke, because he understood immediately what had happened. Daniel was not a traitor. He was not a rebel. He was a faithful man caught in a political trap. The king tried everything he could to save him. He worked until sunset, searching, negotiating, hoping. But the law could not be reversed, and the pressure of the system was stronger than his desire to protect Daniel. So with a heavy heart, the order was given. Daniel would be thrown into the lion's den, a pit used for execution, a place where survival was not expected. As they led Daniel away, there was no record of panic in him, no desperate resistance, only quiet trust. And as the stone was rolled over the entrance, sealing him inside, it felt like the world had chosen silence over justice. That night, the palace could not sleep. King Darius refused food. He refused entertainment. He paced. He waited, holding on to hope that felt thinner with every passing hour.
Inside the den, surrounded by darkness and danger, Daniel's story continued in a place no one could see. And in that unseen place, something powerful happened. Because fear may control people, but it does not control truth. The night passed, slowly, heavily, until finally, morning came. King Darius rushed to the den. His voice broke as he called out into the opening. "Daniel, has your God been able to rescue you?" And then, silence broke. A voice came from inside. Calm, clear, alive. May the king live forever. Daniel was alive, unharmed, protected through the night in a place meant for destruction. The stone was removed, and Daniel stepped out. No wounds, no injuries, no signs of harm. Only a testimony that could not be explained by human strength alone that moment. At that moment, King Darius understood something deeply. Daniel's faith was not weakness. It was something greater than
power. Something that even laws could not silence. The men who had plotted against Daniel were then brought forward and faced the consequences of their actions. But the story did not end in punishment. It ended in recognition. King Darius issued a new decree across the kingdom, a declaration honoring the God of Daniel. Because when truth survives what was meant to destroy it, people begin to listen. And Daniel continued to serve, faithful as always, unshaken by pressure, unmoved by fear. Because real integrity does not change when the environment becomes difficult. It only becomes more visible. And this is where the story speaks beyond history. Because everyone faces moments like this. Moments where pressure asks you to compromise, where fear asks you to stay silent, where systems, opinions, or expectations try to pull you away from what you know is right. But Daniel's story reminds us of something simple yet powerful. Faith is not proven when life is easy. It is revealed when standing firm costs something. Integrity is not tested in comfort. It is tested in pressure. And courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to stay faithful in spite of it. Because in the end, the lion's den was not the end of Daniel. It became the place where his faith was proven stronger than fear. And his story still speaks today. Stand firm, stay faithful, and do not let fear have the final word.